everybody. I'm Representative Eric Nelson from the 57th District, Westmoreland County.
And I'm State Representative Eric DeVanzo from the 58th Legislative District, and we are
E squared.
on location today in the 58th District. We have a couple special guests today. What's your name, young lady?
Brielle.
And why are you not in school today? You got to answer. You got to answer. We're here at Amulet Farms, Rostraver Township here. Good friend of mine, Tom Severchek. Tom, say hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good, doing well. And we have Kim Hankins, right?
Yes.
From the Meadows Standardbred Owners Association.
Yes, we're here for an event for our legislators, our supporters here today. Happy to be here.
Yeah.
And we got to show off this high-speed gear. Check it out. We're going wireless, teeny tiny mic.
That's right. Bluetooth here. Big steps here.
Real deal, Holyfield.
So, Tom, what can you tell us about the farm here? A little bit of history about it.
Sure, I could tell you about that. I purchased the farm in '92, and I heard there was a harness racing racehorse facility training center in Bell Vernon, and while I lived in the valley for my whole life, I had no idea this place existed. So I came to the farm, and there's 40 horses in training here, and I fell in love with the farm, and I fell in love with the horses, and not too long after that, I bought my first racehorse.
So you fell in love with the horses. That must mean you don't like money, right? You don't like your check. It all goes away, right?
It's a great sport. Better than owning a boat, for sure.
So you're saying that it's not true as a boat, but what is it? The best
First
day of the
day
boat
and
is
the
the first and the
last
last day. That's not true with the horse.
Yes.
So.
No, I've been a boat owner. I like the horses much better. And you have the option to make money. It's possible to make money. We don't do it each and every year, but we've had some pretty good years and good racing. But it's probably the greatest sport that I've ever been involved in.
Yeah.
Well, and if you're touching on, I mean, it's exciting when you say racing, and horse racing, but training horses to race, that's like extremely impressive. How do you go about doing that?
Well, at the farm, I start out every day. I have a day job. I sell insurance for CSC Acrisure. But before I do that, I start at the farm, and we have 6 racehorses. Each horse gets jogged every day for 4 to 5 miles to start with. So we take turns, and I have a trainer, Bryce. So together we jog the horses. Then after that, there's a lot of care given to each of these horses. They're great athletes, but they require a lot of time and a lot of work to get them to the races. I usually duck out about 10 and do my day job, and at night sometimes I'll be involved in a little maintenance. But I also drive horses in addition to training the horses.
So 4 to 5 miles. Listen, you would need an EMT on staff for me to do 4 to 5 miles there. So quite the operation there. How many folks do you employ here?
Well, we have 2 businesses at the farm. We have a racehorse business where, we have the 6 horses and we race at the Meadows primarily. But we also have rehabilitation service where we're partnered with veterinarian, and they operate on them. And a lot of these racehorses have leg issues, foot problems, tendon problems, suspensory problems. And, just like any other rehab, the vet will say, hey, this horse needs to be 30 days in the aqua pacer, an underwater treadmill, or 30 days in the ice water tank. And they give us the protocol, and we follow the protocol. We have about 15 employees here at the farm.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And Kim, how would you say like Pennsylvania wide? Because this is not just in Pennsylvania, but specifically we're all about jobs and opportunity.
Yes, and what I always try to key into is that we're a major factor in agriculture, which is the number one business in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Act 71 was probably the most unique piece of legislation ever passed, in that the people that wanted gaming in Pennsylvania wanted to put it where gaming already was happening, and that was horse racing. So they wanted to put it on the 6 racetracks, and so to be able to do that, they needed our support. And so we got together with the tracks, and the track agreed to give us a portion of their funds, not the state funds, but from the
the revenues that come from the
operators
yeah
portion. And
And
so
what's you guys your big race, or where you race at the most, is right down the road from here?
yeah,
right?
the Meadows. There's 3 harness tracks in Pennsylvania, in Pocono, Chester, and Meadows here in this area, Southwest PA, and so it's been a huge bailiwick for our industry when they passed this, and we've generated much more investment in the community. We've had people come in and buy farms. We've had people come in and buy horses to race here, to breed here, and all of that kicks back towards the agricultural part of it. And so we're very pleased to be able to represent our Western Pennsylvania people that race here at the Meadows with health insurance, retirement programs, and most of those benefits come from the slots legislation. And so we benefit from that. And we always try to remind our legislators, our champions, that that was the deal when we made the big deal in 2004, was that horse racing would be taken care of by the slots legislation because of the impact that it would have on our parimutuel handle, which expectedly it has.
Unique relationship, because as the casinos do well, a portion of those proceeds, you said it's not taxpayer dollars,
Mm-hmm.
it's a portion of the casino investment to go to help. There's over 20,000
Mm-hmm.
jobs that are associated with them. But these type of jobs, like you mentioned, a horse trainer, can you go to, college to get a degree in horse training? Like, how this is a very unique and nuanced profession.
Well, yes, it is, and it's a profession that you couldn't go to school to accomplish your goals in this business. You would have to work from the bottom up. And so when we say 20,000 employees, there's probably, of that, 5,000 or so trainers, drivers, jockeys. The rest of them are farm workers. They're grooms at the racetrack. They are not educated employees, but they're a valuable part of the community in that they pay their taxes, and they take care of these wonderful animals. They love these animals. We always get a little bit of feedback from some of the animal rights people, but I'd like to have the care and tenderness that these horses get.
Yeah, I
on a
think
daily
that
basis.
we're gonna have to apply that same standard to our wives, huh? Because I need a little aqua bath thing
There you
that you're
go.
talking about there.
Listen, we just want you to shower, period. I'm not worried about, no special treatment there. But yeah, no, this morning, whenever we come in, you got a masseuse on hand, you got veterinarians, like
Right.
pretty high-tech stuff going on in there, And Brielle was grabbing her neck like she needed a massage. I'm like, don't get too comfortable here because we're going home,
Yeah. So can you touch on, like, you mentioned about injuries and working and helping the horses and really such fantastic facilities here. I'm a cow guy now, but when we had our horses, I was always struck by the soul of a horse. You guys were teasing me earlier, but like there is so much there in that animal. It's quite a connection. How did you become driven to get such advanced facilities for the therapy and healing of these horses?
Well, that's his facility, so I let him explain that. But yes, I think one of the most famous orators in the world, Winston Churchill, said, "The outside of a horse is good for the inside of a man," meaning that it really helps you to be around horses. It teaches you a lot about civility. It teaches you a lot about humanity. But here at the Amulet, this is very, very impressive. I've been in the business my whole life and been around a lot of states, but this one is so well equipped, so well funded. Tom does a great job. Whenever there's anything needed at this farm, he never hesitates to step up to the plate and provide for these horses in staffing and in equipment. And
You like a little bit of show off going on
Speaking
there.
of which, it looks like we got a wild one. We got a racer.
Yeah,
going
make sure
on.
you capture that.
we have a happy horse.
What do you think, Tom?
The reason the rehab was created is we try so hard to do everything we can for the horses. We give them the best care, the utmost, and sometimes jogging 4 and 5 miles a day is a little tough on them. So sometimes they have a foot problem or a leg problem. So we started with the Aqua Pacer, which is an underwater treadmill. And then we moved on to the cold water ice plunge, which is all the athletes use them now. But all the
I've seen Devanzo do that once or twice, not on purpose.
cold
but-
water plunge.
Cold water. Sometimes you have to.
So it was kind of designed for our own racehorses to give them the ultimate care. And then I teamed up with a local veterinarian, the surgeon, Dr. Brown, and together we come up with the idea that we would open it to the outside. And it's been good. We've had a lot of millionaire horses come through here. We work with the Ron Burke stable. That's one of our good friends and clients. And Ronnie just is the winningest trainer in the world.
His earnings just went over $300 million career
right.
a few days ago. So
Right.
he's, again, and probably second is 120
Yeah.
million. So
So
So we
he's
talk-
phenomenal.
sorry, Tom.
Yes.
But we talk about money and revenue generated. What's that dollar amount look like for the state generated off of you guys there?
oh, well, the income from harness racing, again, the economic impact is $3.1 billion. The direct impact from betting on horses has gone down because we set casinos right on top of the racetrack. But that's where we think that we fit into this equation, is that we buy the feed, we buy the hay, we buy the grain, we keep the farriers in business, veterinarians, massage people like that. These grooms that work here, we have grooms, probably 100 grooms at the racetrack, just at the Meadows. So it's all about how we have to keep letting people know that we're important in the way of jobs and of economic impact.
So is that a possible future business here? We could bet on a horse right here, being there's no casino around. That would be great for Rostraver Township. That you could do it all right here, one-stop shop. But what do you guys think of the future of the horse industry here in the Commonwealth? What do you guys see it down the road? What are some of the problems you guys think we're going to face?
Well, I see a bright future as long as the link between legislators and the horse racing industry stays strong as it has in the past, and we have our champions like we had here today in finding ways to make sure that our racehorse development trust fund is not impeded in any way or tried to gain in any way possible. But as long as we can do that, the breeding business, people want to continue to invest here. It's a great state. We have a lot of, like this facility, and the racetracks are fantastic facilities. So I see a bright future as long as we can maintain our racehorse development trust fund.
I couldn't imagine a governor trying to raid that trust fund. You guys?
Well, we've been very fortunate in the last 5 years. The previous administration did try to take all or portion of it over the years for a fund that didn't have much traction when it got to the House and the Senate, which we were very happy about. This year, our new governor has not shown the thirst for our blood, so we're happy about that too. And we're just looking forward. There's a couple of key items that we've talked to you guys about today that are on our agenda for this session, and we'll continue to come up and see you and explain our industry and how important it is to the Commonwealth.
I think that you guys do a great job, and we really appreciate everything you've done for harness racing. I think if we could get the word out to the people and let them know what goes on at the Meadows and what goes on in harness racing, if we can educate them a little bit more, they would love it. The problem is maybe we haven't done the greatest job of letting people know that there's a great facility right here 20 miles away. And we have the winningest trainer in the world located here, and the winningest driver in the world being Dave Pallone right here. The driving colony is very competitive. The horse racing's competitive. And when people go to the track, they say, I can't believe this is here. 30 years, I've never been here. So
Yeah, we're going to have to put those two names down on the screen, because when I go to track, it's fun and it's a good time, but I really don't know what I'm doing. So this way I can bet either with the trainer or with that
you can't go wrong.
So when I see Pallone, I know that's where my money has to
There
go.
you go.
Now, Tom has
There you go.
assured me if his name's on there, do not bet on it because he loses.
And I can assure you of that too. No, Tom does a good job. He's one of the top amateur drivers around, and he's very competitive against the professionals.
That's awesome.
Thanks.
What do you
Yeah.
think? Any last
Yeah,
remarks?
no, it's great here. Rostraver Township, right in our backyard there. I'm telling you, we could set up some chariot races here, E-squared
Yeah.
chariot races.
Yeah.
I want to be sitting in a trailer taking some of this equipment home. I tell you the truth, but that'll happen late at night. Don't worry.
Yeah. Any last comments? Anything you guys
We
want to add?
appreciate everything you guys have done for us and look forward to working with you in the future.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Same here. I can't thank you enough for especially just this, the opportunity to explain our industry to not only yourself, but your constituents. And like Tom says, that's our job. We need to educate the public, but we also need to educate new legislators that don't understand the promise and what was done with Act 71. So we really appreciate you doing this for us.
All right. Hand it over to you,
Well,
buddy.
From the 58th Legislative District, on location today, E-squared signing off. Thank you guys. Appreciate your hospitality today. Always good to learn something there.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's
Yep,
go get
thank
some
you.
barbecue.
Let's
There
go.
you go.